Hi, everybody. My name is Patrick Rhodes, and my wife Ashley and I have a son, Jack, who has Crouzons syndrome. In fact, Ashley herself has it. She and I have been married now for, in December it'll be 13 years, and during the course of the time before Jack was born, he's 6 now, so we were married for 7 years before we had him. During the course of the time, we obviously talked about children and the direction that we were going to go, and whether we thought that we could handle having a child with Crouzons. Even though that Ashley herself had it, and we felt maybe a little more prepared than a lot of families. I don't think you're ever completely ready when you're dealing with some of the medical issues and things that children with craniofacial differences face. So what I'm going to do tonight is talk to you a little bit about our story and our time walking through this with Jack, and what we've learned, what we still have to learn, and just kind of give you a father's perspective on exactly kind of what Crouzons is like. I know for the kids, they're the ones that endure the most difficulties. Obviously, they're the ones that have to have the surgeries and deal with the looks and the stares and those kinds of things. But as parents, we're there with them too. And when you care about somebody as much as parents love their children, it becomes tremendously difficult to see what they're going through. And just kind of as an overview, like I said, that's really what I want to talk to you guys about this evening. As I said, my name is Patrick Rhodes, live in Myrtle Beach. I have a great son. He's 6 years old. This is his second day of school today, and he loves to learn. He loves to read. He loves Star Wars. He is eaten up with Star Wars. So in a lot of ways, he's a typical 6-year-old. In fact, in most ways. But he does have some challenges that other kids don't. When we, in 2011, actually 2010, before Jack was born, Ashley and I had basically decided that given the probability that any child we had would have Crouzons, and that's 50-50, that we decided we weren't going to have children. We'd actually decided to adopt. We felt like we were better. We felt like we were better capable parents of caring for a child that didn't necessarily have some of the medical problems that we knew Jack would have. And it's funny, kind of as fate would have it, the way things work out. God's plan is definitely different than ours. I can remember I was sitting in my recliner on Monday night watching Monday Night Football, and my wife came into the living room and said that we needed to go buy some pregnancy tests. And she showed me the results and came back positive, and she was pregnant. And I said, well, and I walk into the bathroom and I see 3 other ones laid out, and I said, I don't know why we want to go buy any more pregnancy tests. They're not going to tell you anything that these 4 haven't. We're pregnant. So there's a lot of fear and a lot of trepidation, and we started moving forward. We learned as much as you could about what it's going to be like to be new parents and the excitement that comes with that, all the while knowing that Crouzons was a real possibility. And we decided pretty early on that we were going to go ahead and do as much genetic testing as possible and try to find out, as soon as we could, whether Jack had Crouzons or not. And for us, the reason we felt that way was primarily because living in Myrtle Beach, we knew that there were going to be some. We had to find a doctor that was sort of capable of caring for him, and that wasn't going to be here. Some of the medical facilities here are a little more limited than they are in bigger cities. But anyway, so we found out. I guess we did the amniocentesis in February of 2011. We found out in March of 11 that yes, Jack did in fact have Crouzons, and that that's what we're going to be dealing with. And the article that I wrote that Faces will be putting out earlier or a little bit later goes into in detail a lot of the emotions that I felt at that time and that I was dealing with at that time. But the biggest thing that I felt was a lot of anger. I was very angry, very upset that I was going to have to go down this road because it meant it was kind of a loss of control. There wasn't, and I guess control is an illusion for anybody. We really, in our lives, we want to hold on to things as much as we can and pretend that we control things, but in reality, it's all in God's hands, not ours. And immediately, I started feeling a lot of anger. I was very angry that Jack was gonna have to go down this road. I was very angry that I was going to have to go down this road. And one of the things that was very hard for me was as a father. I played football in college, and I was very athletic, and I knew that some of the things that meant a lot to me were going to be things that I couldn't share with Jack. And I only really saw the things that I wouldn't get to do. I didn't see the things that I was going to get to do. And that's very hard, I think, for a lot of people when you initially get the diagnosis. And as a dad, it's even harder because we're taught kind of as in society, we're told that we should be able to protect our family, take care of our family, those kinds of things. And this is something, there's nothing I can do. My role is to, as much as possible, make a good decision for Jack. All of his treatment, everything that comes from the surgical procedures that he has, everything that comes from the decisions and the information that the doctors give us, all we can really do is think about it, pray about it, and make a decision, because it's ultimately the doctors who have to do all the work, and Jack who has to go through the hardships. So as time sort of passed through the pregnancy, I became even more angry. I actually grew to resent God. I had a lot of anger towards Him. Why would He do something like this? Why would this happen to my family? And my wife has already gone through it once. Why do we have to have another child in this family that has to deal with this? And it was really a long time sort of wallowing in that self-pity, wallowing in that anger. And I didn't really understand why. It was confusing. I mean, I had this eventually. Jack's born in July of 2011, and I've got this beautiful little boy who, the first time I looked at him, I fell head over heels in love. All I want to do is hold him. In fact, tonight, before I did this, we were in the recliner. We were tickling each other, and we were watching. We were watching TV, a couple of cartoons for a minute, and just really playing and being silly. And he is so very special, and I felt that way about him from the minute I saw him. But still, I had all this anger and frustration that we had to deal with this, and I couldn't quite understand it. And it was really funny. My wife is a guidance counselor, and she knows and understands all about the grieving process. And I don't think Ashley even understood what I was going through. It was actually a friend of ours, our priest Ron Greiser, who he was down at one of Jack's procedures in Charleston, and he asked me, how I was doing. And Ron and I are in, we're in the PICU looking at this little boy who at this time, I guess by now Jack is 7-8 months old. We're looking at this little boy, and I couldn't say anything, but I'm angry. I'm really angry. I'm angry at God. I'm angry at the situation. And Ron said to me, it's okay to be mad. He said, you get mad at Ashley, but you still love her, right? I said, yeah. It's the same way with God. And he said, and more importantly, it's part of the grieving process. And I thought, grieving process? My son's alive. I've brought him home. I get to cuddle with him at night. I get to feed him. You get to do all those things. So I really didn't see that I was grieving. But after talking with him and some other folks, I came to realize I was grieving for the loss of the quote-unquote perfect child, the perfectly healthy, normal child. I felt that loss. Even though I still had Jack, I lost the idea that it had built in my mind over the course of 38 years about what it was going to be like to have a son. And that was really why I wanted to write the article. I wanted to let other parents know that it's perfectly normal to have a mixture of emotions. One minute you're going to be so excited, you're going to be over the moon, excited, happy, elated. And the next minute you're going to be crying. You're going to be angry. You're going to be cursing the world. But those are all normal emotions, and you're not alone. Every parent that has a child has felt that at some time. For those of us who have children that have medical issues, we get to feel that a lot sooner. Every parent sooner or later has something happen to their child that they can't fix. And that's when you really start to understand that you don't have any control. The only thing you can do is to be there and love and comfort and support your baby. So that's really, as I said, why I wanted to write the article. That's kind of the biggest thing for me, is just to let other parents know that you're going to feel a lot of different things. There's no right or wrong answer. The only thing you can do is to just keep moving forward, to just keep putting one foot in front of the other one. And it sounds trite, but it is the truth. You just have to focus on one day at a time, one procedure at a time, one decision at a time, and make the best of it. Because there's some really wonderful things that we've experienced with Jack, and I wouldn't have anybody other than him. He is the most amazing little boy. His personality, he never meets a stranger, never. In fact, he and I had gone out to dinner the other night because my wife, school's starting here, and she had to work late, and we were sitting at dinner, and these two girls walk up to us, and they in their teens or 20s, I don't know, but they looked at Jack, and the little girl walks up to him and goes, "You have the cutest glasses." And she says, "Are those flames on your glasses?" And Jack looks at her and goes, "Yes, they are." And he's just an amazing little man, and he is so outgoing and so charismatic, even for a 6-year-old, that it's just great to watch. So, I really kind of want to go over those things and kind of give everybody an introduction as to why I wrote, as I said, I wrote the article and what the purpose of this talk was a little about, and I wanted to open it up for some questions and answers. I know that Sarah from Faces, she gave me a couple of things ahead of time that she had emailed. One of the things she asked is, "What is the greatest lesson that Jack has taught you?" And the thing that I would say is, don't have any preconceived notions of what your child is or isn't. Jack has a trach. When he was born, obviously, as is common in a lot of Crouzons cases, his airways were obstructed, and he has trouble breathing. At that time, he had trouble breathing all the time. Now he has trouble mainly breathing at night. But despite the trach, he's a pretty good swimmer. It didn't take very long. In fact, I think he's about 18 months old, and we live less than a mile from the beach, and we drove over to the beach one day, and he and I were walking on the beach, and that's, all of us who have kids, we've seen it. The waves come in, the waves go out, the waves come in, the waves go out, and the kids keep backing up, going forward, backing up, going forward. Well, he did that about 3 times, and he looks up at me, these big old brown eyes, and grins from ear to ear, and jumped headfirst into the water. And so that was the first time I knew we were in trouble. But he loves to swim somehow. I don't know how he does it, but he swims. He doesn't matter to him that he has the trach, and so I don't know. But that's one of the biggest lessons is just, as a parent, we want to protect them, we want to do the right things, but we can't limit them either. We got to let our kids live their life and experience the things they want to experience, and to try not to do it with any preconceived notions. One of the other questions that Sarah sent me was, so what do you want others to know about your family? And the thing that I want people to understand and that I want people to know is that we're just like everybody else. I don't care how normal, quote unquote, your child is, or how perfectly healthy, or how beautiful they are. They're going to have some ups and downs, and they're going to have challenges. For us, ours just started earlier. I don't like that he has to go through it, but we have a great church. We have a great group of people who support us, and we love each other. But it's our walk, it's our life, but it's just like anybody else's. We have a challenge. Everybody does. We can't change it. We just have to deal with it. And what activities do you like doing with Jack the most? Well, it's funny. I love doing a lot of different stuff. I really enjoy riding bikes with him. We live on a golf course that in the evenings when the course is closed, we can actually go out and ride the cart path. And he likes to race. He loves to pretend like he's Lightning McQueen. And I know the Cars movie had come out this summer, and he would pretend that he was Lightning and that I was Jackson Storm, and so like to race me around the golf course. Loved to play lightsabers with him. We'll go out in the backyard, and run around the house, hitting each other with lightsabers and just being silly. We go on vacations. We go to Disney. We swim. Like I said, we just have a normal life, and really, I just love seeing Jack grow up. And that's really, I think, the coolest part about being a parent and really watching Jack is just spending time with him. So, those are the questions that Sarah had. I don't know if anybody has any. I'll take any questions right now. The interesting thing about the article that I wrote, and I know it's going to come up before too long, is that as I was writing it, I thought about a lot of things that I hadn't thought about in a while, and one of the things that really struck me was just how the first year that we had Jack, and I know it's this way for every new parent, but given the we come home, we do the medical stuff, we do the typical bathing, the feedings, but then and then when we had to get him ready for bed, we had to add equipment and machines and things like that. So it really went by fast, and I was thinking the other night, how much I wish I could go back and tell myself at that time, tell the Patrick of 5 years ago, hey, it's going to be all right. Just slow down and enjoy the process. Well, I'm not really seeing any questions, so I think I'm going to wrap it up. But anyway, I hope that this helps anybody out there who's interested. I mean, just know, in summary, just know that if you're a parent and you're going through this, you're not alone. There's a lot of us out there that are experiencing something. It may not be exactly the same, but it's very challenging when you see your child struggle the way that these children initially have to struggle, and the way they'll struggle for a large part of their life with the craniofacial differences. And just know you're not alone, that there are people that care, that no matter how hard it gets, that your child and loving your child and being there for them is the most important thing. So anyway, I want to thank everybody, and I hope you have a great night.